I'm getting my money out of Bitcoin because I can get 1.8% now in the 10-year bond. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So we cover that content quite a bit on this channel. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, please smash the like button if you enjoy this video. Also, I want to let everybody know we have a Discord. There is a link to the Discord in the pinned comment below. The entry level is free to join. So please come on over and talk to us. I interact a lot over there and we got a great group. Okay, so with that said, let's get to Bitcoin. So I want to start by looking at the big board of miners. It is more red than green. However, that has been fluctuating all day long. So there's still 1 hour left in the trading day as I'm speaking right now. So I don't know where it's going to end up, but this is what the board looks like with 1 hour left in the day. So you can see Bitfarms down just a little bit, HUT up just a little bit, nothing too drastic here. So there are some that are down 3 or 4 or 5%. So a bit of a mixed bag today. We've been up and down all day. Okay, so this was yesterday's trading right here. This is the middle of the night. So at about 3 o'clock, we bottomed out on this short-term line of support. And since then, straight through to the open, we rallied. This 30-minute candle right here was the open of the U.S. stock market. So Bitcoin rallied up to its high on the day in the first 30 minutes. The board was very green at that point. But then you can see in the next half hour, it gave it all right back and then some. So we've been going up and down since then all day in a pretty tight range. So that's why there's not too much going on the board. And right now, we do seem to be stuck in a range. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. So if I zoom out to the 1 hour candles, you'll see that what I'm starting to get worried about is this line right here at $42,418. This was the bottom of the flash crash back on December 3rd. That had been a very nice line of support for us for over a month. However, it looks to me like on January 17th, we dipped below this line, and we have then tested it later that day on the 17th, and then again on the 18th, and then again on the 19th. So this is the third time we seem to be running into this line. We keep getting very close to breaking through, but failing each time. So this is the third day in a row we've failed to get through this line. So I don't want to see this turn into a strong line of resistance. So I'm hoping that whatever we do, Bitcoin can do it quickly. However, there's some things looming over Bitcoin's head for the next 24 to 48 hours that may keep this price action down. We have a very short-term line of support. This is not a very strong line, but it has held twice now, so I am a little bit surprised. So yesterday this line held. At 9 o'clock in the morning, we bounced off of this and went back up. And then again, in the middle of the night, overnight last night, we bounced right off of this and went back up. So we've been trading in a pretty tight range between this purple line and what I'm calling pink here, whatever, I'm not sure whatever color it really is, between these two lines. That's only a $1,200 price range. So we're trading in a tight range, but this does seem to be setting up as resistance, and this has acted as short-term support. I will tell everybody, I do suspect with the pressure going on, I think there's a better chance than not that we still go down and retest this line, the blue line, at $40,553. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so that we can get a better look at that line. So this was last night's action and today's action here on the 4 hour candles. So you can see this blue line has been very solid support. If I scroll back, this goes all the way back to September 22nd. And you can see we had 3 successful retests of this line, and it held very strong. We candlewicked below this line and actually went all the way down to the next line of support and touched it and then ran right back up. And you can see this 4 hour candle closed way above this line of support. So this line of support has held strong. It does feel like we're in a downward channel here. It looked like we were maybe breaking out of it, but now we seem to be back into it. So momentum seems to be heading this way. So I will not at all be surprised to see us test this blue line in the next 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, I hope we don't. I'd rather break through this and create this as a new line of support and go up from there. But realistically, this is quite possible. Okay, so we were talking about some fear and uncertainty. So we have something happening tomorrow that I think covers all those bases, and that is a government meeting regarding cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin mining is likely to come up in that meeting. So here's an article titled Yet Another Crypto Hearing, and I'm just going to read a little bit of this. Crypto energy use has been under scrutiny for quite a while. We're going to hear from U.S. lawmakers about this issue for the first time in years on Thursday, when the House Energy and Commerce Committee hosts a hearing titled Cleaning Up Cryptocurrency, the Energy Impacts of Blockchain. The government hasn't really addressed this issue and created any legislation around it to this point. Everybody expects that it's coming. But tomorrow will be the first time they have a conversation about it. And it's highly likely that that conversation is going to lead to Bitcoin miners and the amount of energy that they're using. And in addition to that, the amount of carbon they're creating and what their carbon footprint is that they're leaving behind. So tomorrow being the first time they're going to talk about it, they really certainly won't come to any conclusions. But I think we will hear a lot of talking points after this meeting is over regarding government regulations of all different types regarding Bitcoin, but specifically around Bitcoin miners and their carbon footprint. So this is an important issue, but it is creating a cloud of uncertainty. So fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Without any legislation right now, U.S. miners are uncertain as to what rules they're going to have to follow. It's highly likely that regulations of some type are coming. I think that most of the North American miners have been highly proactive in preparing for that. Once the legislation is passed, they'll know exactly what it is. And honestly, this uncertainty right now of having looming legislation is undoubtedly worse than whatever legislation is going to end up coming. So some regulations will be good. They'll create some certainty in the space. Obviously, they'll be geared towards cleaning up the environment and making sure that the Bitcoin miners aren't draining too much energy out of the system and creating too much carbon emissions. So that's a big topic right now, and I do think it's creating some downward pressure on Bitcoin. I think once this meeting is over and we get some of the talking points, we'll be able to move on from this. I think the North American Bitcoin miners are prepared for this. I'm just bringing these up because these are articles that came out today, and it seems like this is every day we have something like this. So this says proof-of-work crypto mining should be banned in the EU, says European markets regulator. And I'm not going to read you the whole article, but the vice chair of the European Securities and Markets Authority called for a ban on proof-of-work Bitcoin mining. We need to have a discussion about shifting the industry to a more efficient technology. Proof-of-work mining is more energy intensive than proof-of-stake mining, but less secure. Okay, so those are the bullet points. So, all right, first of all, Bitcoin is never going to move from proof-of-work to proof-of-stake. So that is not happening. You guys all already know that. I don't know very much about this topic in Europe, but it is doubtful to me that the EU is going to ban Bitcoin mining. So I feel like that's more fear, uncertainty, and doubt that's just being put out there. However, in the event that that does happen, there are so many machines coming online around the world that it would have very little to no impact on the global hash rate. So, I'm not looking for EU to ban Bitcoin mining. I don't expect them to do that. But if they did take that drastic measure, it really would not impact the Bitcoin mining network and global hash rate in any material way. So we'll see how this unfolds. But again, it's just a very negative FUD type article. Then lastly, again, this one was today. Bitcoin billionaire Mike N says crypto prices will stay under pressure as bond yields shoot higher. So this has been a huge talking point for the last few weeks. The 10-year bond is going up. The entire investment community spends a massive amount of time talking about that and the ramifications it has on the equity markets as well as the cryptocurrency markets. So I just want to show you what they're talking about, and I'm going to have to agree to disagree with everybody because in my opinion, the yield on the 10-year bonds is totally, absolutely irrelevant over the course of time in relationship to the equity markets and even more so in relationship to the cryptocurrency markets. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Over a 10-year period, you're getting 1.827% annual return, and you're locking up your money for 10 years. There are people and businesses and retirement accounts and all sorts of things that participate in 10-year bonds. However, the people that invest in Bitcoin are not those people. So I believe that is two totally mutually exclusive groups, and there is nobody that now that the 10-year bond has ticked up from 1.5% to 1.8%, I don't think there's a single person on this earth that has said, I'm getting my money out of Bitcoin because I can get 1.8% now in the 10-year bond. So I think that that is massive hype. It does have some short-term effect because of the amount of attention it gets by the media. In my opinion, and I feel strongly about that one, I think that that is totally bogus, and they are not related over the course of the long term at all. Okay, enough said. So let's look at a few Bitcoin miners. The first one I want to take a look at is HUT8. So right now, HUT on the day is up 0.65%, and again, the market hasn't closed yet, so I'm not sure where it's going to close. HUT8 is very near a strong line of support. They're at $6.22, and at $5.86 is a strong line of support. So, you know, they're about 30-something cents away from some strong support. So to me, there's very little risk on the downside in the short term here on HUT8. However, like all the other Bitcoin miners, they pulled back massively in December and so far in January, mostly due to the price action on Bitcoin and really nothing at all to do with the operations of HUT. HUT released their December operations update. It was great. Everything was as expected or better. So this is not an operational thing. This is just strictly downward pressure over the last 6 to 8 weeks on Bitcoin and as a result, the Bitcoin miners. So in the case of HUT, if it can just get back to the price that it was trading at on December 27th, which was just over 3 weeks ago, Bitcoin was somewhere around 51,000 at that point. So if HUT can just retrace its steps back there, that would be over a 44% increase in their stock price. So I am expecting that to happen on a very short-term basis. You know, it's hard to tell. Bitcoin seems to be taking its time to turn around, but sometime in the next 45 days, I would certainly expect HUT to get to this point, if not beyond. The other date I want to look at is December 1st. So Bitcoin was trading somewhere in the $57,000, $58,000 range on December 1st. So if Bitcoin can get healthy and get anywhere near that, I expect that HUT will get back to its level, and that would represent a 112% increase. So that price point is around $13. So again, I think this is a very realistic price point for some time, maybe in the middle of the second quarter. That's more than a double on this stock if they are just able to get back to where they were on December 1st, which was less than 2 months ago. Again, this is not financial advice. I can't tell you guys what to buy and at what price to buy it. You need to assess risk for yourself and for your own portfolio. But I'm giving you my targets and how I'm viewing HUT as a potential risk reward. Okay, the next one I want to look at is CIFR. CIFR has been beaten down worse than any other Bitcoin mining stock. And I think they're suffering from two things. Number one, the same thing all the other Bitcoin miners are suffering from. There's pressure on Bitcoin and so therefore pressure on the Bitcoin miners. However, in addition to that, I think they're suffering from the fact that although they have very big plans for 2022, they come into 2022 with 0 exahash of Bitcoin mining. Their stock is getting punished heavily as a result. CIFR's plans are to get somewhere between 14 and 19 exahash up and running by the end of 2022. Now, even if they fall short of that, and let's say they get 8 or 10 exahash, they're at $766 million market cap right now. Their market cap would have to triple or quadruple or more if they were able to implement their plan and get, between 10 and 14 exahash next year. Never mind if they go past that with the potential to get up to 19 exahash. In the short term, CIFR is falling fast, and it seems like it's every single day. So I don't know when the bottom is. It's unlikely that it's today. There have even been green days over the last week where pretty much the entire board was green and CIFR was still red. So this stock is getting beaten down right now. So a strategy I'm considering is starting to average in on this one. So again, this is not financial advice. This is certainly a falling knife at the moment. And so please, everybody, be careful. Understand the risk. You'll see I have no line of support under here because there is none. So I can't quantify the risk, but I do feel like it's nearing its low. And I think the potential reward on this is huge if they can execute in the year 2022. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.